So what's up, you guys? How's everybody doing today? So I've tried to make this video like 3 or 4 times in the past week. So I'm finally going to go ahead and make it, and it's going to be however it is. So here we go. So you're probably wondering why the front end of the car is tore apart. And if you got a really good eye, you'll see stuff about the engine and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But the front end, is torn apart. And I'm sure people are probably like, oh, well, maybe I wonder if he's going to try to convert it to a Grand Marquis or try to make it look like a Marauder. I'm not doing either of those things. It's going to stay a Crown Victoria. It was made a Crown Vic, so it's going to stay a Crown Vic. I took the whole front end apart because, it's disgusting. So a lot of people don't clean this kind of stuff. So like where the headlights go and the corner lights, they don't clean this kind of stuff because, like, you can see this side looks a lot better than this side does. Nobody ever cleans anything like that. And also the bumper or bumper cover on the driver's side right here was actually crunched a little bit, or wrinkled, I guess you could say. And that was just because this panel was bent. So it's very thin sheet metal, so you could literally bend it like an aluminum can. So all I did was pull it on the bottom of it a little bit so I can make it look almost identical to the other side. That's the EGR valve. It actually broke off because I accidentally pried on it too much. It broke off at the exhaust. So I don't have to worry about the EGR valve, but now I'll throw a check engine light. But anyways, that's why the whole front of the car is apart. And I wanted to clean everything, so I took everything off of it. And it's just been sitting like this since last week sometime. So anyways, so now you see the intake is off and all that stuff. Well, first, the intake is off because I've had a coolant leak that's been on this side of the engine for the whole time I've had this car, and I never knew what it was. Well, on the intake, where the coolant crossover is, there's 3 bolts that hold it on the passenger side, and all 3 of those bolts were loose. Most of them are like halfway backed out where you can see threads, so that's probably a problem or probably a reason. But another reason is all of the intake gaskets for the intake plenum and the cylinders they were flat. All the gaskets, the rubber was completely flat. So instead of somebody replacing that stuff, they just put it back on and called it a day. So that's another reason why it was leaking. And then my car had a misfire and it ran like shit, and I never knew why. Well, it has a misfire because there was coolant in every single one of the cylinder or spark plug holes on this side of the engine. So that's another thing that has to be addressed. And I'm pretty sure all those spark plugs and coil packs are completely ruined. So it'll need pretty much, I'm going to do all 8 spark plugs and coil packs with Motorcraft stuff. I'm not going to use no cheap ass Duralast shit. That's what was in it to begin with. I am probably going to replace the injectors because don't be stupid like the jackasses that own this car before me. And these cars are known for this. A lot of older cars do. Plastic like this will break, and the little clips like this right here that I have my thumb on, they will break over time. They get brittle. Then when you need them, because they are a lock, and they lock onto the little tab right there, which you can't see it, the little tab right there on the injectors and on the coil packs. Well, like I said, over time they break, so you either have to buy the harness, which you can't really do. You probably could do it if you went and bought it off of a car that's wrecked, or you just replace the plugs, which is what I'm going to do. But now I have to because, as you can see, some stupid fuck decided it'd be a good idea to put either JB Weld or something in here, and it stuck them to all the injectors. So I'm going to replace all 8 injectors. I'm not even going to worry about getting them cleaned. Not even going to worry about getting them tested. I'm just going to replace them. They're the factory injectors. I'm going to put the same thing back in it that came out of it. And I also did this because I had the time to do it, and I'm going to do both valve cover gaskets. I already did the driver's side. I need to do the passenger side. But upon closer inspection and taking the valve cover off of the driver's side, I saw a little piece of plastic sitting down inside the cylinder head. This is a little piece of plastic I found. I kept it just for this video. A lot of people that mess with these engines know exactly what this piece of plastic is. I know exactly what it was when I saw it, because there's no other plastic inside underneath this valve cover. The valve cover itself is not this type of plastic, and you can see it's black. So that means it's only one thing. It is either a valve guide or it's a valve, not a valve guide. It's not a valve guide. It's either a timing chain guide or a tensioner. And when I look straight down on the driver's side timing chain, I could see that the guide has actually flipped over on top of the chain, and the chain is loose. So this car has the possibility to jump time because the chain is loose. It's like a bicycle chain. You can sit there and move it back and forth, and it'll sit there and shake. So it's going to need a timing chain job. This car is a very, very, very neglected car. It's unfortunate. Nothing really that I can do about it. But I can also see that the tensioner has been riding into the timing cover, so it needs a timing cover. It's going to need a belt. The belt that was on it started to crack, so it's going to need to be replaced. I'm going to do all the pulleys. The water pump, I think, is fine. I mean, it's not loose. The AC compressor, I'm not really going to worry about because the AC doesn't work. I don't know why. It might be because of the compressor. I'm not really sure. But I don't want to spend too much on this. I was going to actually make a video like this and say, you know, I was going to keep the car and make it into a project and take this engine out and put like a Coyote or something like that in it. But I don't know about that now because I start to lose hope the more and more I dig into this car. So I found some issues that have remedied other issues, or I found problems that could be the root of other problems. So I found the reason why the car runs like shit. It's because of all 4 spark plugs and coil packs on the driver's or passenger side were fouled and have gotten coolant in them. So that's one problem. I'm going to order a new intake plenum or new intake. I don't really want to put a performance one on it, but I'll look at OEM versus a performance, and if it's not much of a difference in price, I'll just put a performance one on it from a Mustang, because the Mustang and these cars share the same engine. So yeah, so that's what's happening with it. I'm going to take the insurance off of it just because I'm not driving it. It's just a waste of money just sitting here. I don't really have the money right now. I've got money tied up in buying a house. So the car's going to have to sit like it is for right now. And if I have to, I'll just get it towed to the next house, which will hopefully happen in the next couple months. So we'll see. But truck's still doing fine. I drove it to work last night. It's still kicking around, rocking. Got it nice and shined up. So anyways, that's an update on the car. Eventually the car will get put back together. It would be nice if I didn't work on a hill and had a shop. But, you know, got to do this thing called life slowly, one piece at a time. So anyways, that's what you guys see. That's what's going on. I'm not going to make a video about doing any of this stuff. So don't try to think that there's going to be a how-to on how to do the intake or the gaskets or the head or the valve covers or the timing chain. The timing chain, definitely not. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Don't know when the next video will be. I don't know what it'll be about. So I guess just stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you later.